the fields. From the ice to the turf, we'll break it down. Discussing every win and every loss in town. We'll talk about the Canucks and the Lions. We are your irrational fans. We are your irrational fans.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 108 of the Hughes Sports Podcast. I am your host, Jake Hughes, alongside the old man. Old man, how the hell are you doing today?
Usually I pull a smart ass comment and I say how great I am, and I'll just say I'm gonna get by today because I don't know if my voice is gonna actually hold out. So on the rare occasion that I can't, Jake's gonna have to run with the show tonight.
Yes, because, without you, what will I do for the show?
Well, we're gonna find out next week.
We're going to find out next week. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first I'm hearing of this.
You know I'm going away.
Yes, I am aware you're going away.
I'm gonna try logging on when I'm there, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, worst case scenario, I will find, more than likely or not, I will find someone to fill in as guest.
The other guy.
We'll see if the other guy's available. Look, I can't be guaranteeing anyone's available.
Well, he's the other
Especially
guy. We might be able to.
Especially talking about this Canucks team that, let's face it, is brutal to talk about right now. As they gear up to take on the Ducks tonight, finally a home game for the Vancouver Canucks. I saw something. It's been like 20 games for 20 or 30 days since the Canucks have played at home.
Oh, I guess so, because the break, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's been a 2-week break, and then we've been on a road trip the entire time. So
Rizwana writes just in our chat, says, "Hey guys, hey Riz,
how's it going, Riz?
Do you know who that is?"
Yes, I do.
Oh, awesome. I don't think they've ever commented before, or have they? And I'm just
I don't think so.
Got cold meds coming out my yin yang.
Well, I mean, you should probably get that checked by a doctor.
The cold meds coming out my yin yang.
You know what? You could call 911 for that, but I don't think they'd be very helpful.
They would just start laughing.
No, those at the 911 centers, I don't think they're allowed to laugh. Otherwise, they might get in big trouble.
There you go. I think I need an ambulance. I've got cold meds coming out my yin yang.
You know what? I'm sure that's not the weirdest thing they've ever heard on 911. But getting back to
getting back 911, is it actually an emergency in Canuckville?
That's a very good segue. Is it emergency in Canuckville?
Hell
right now,
yeah.
the Canucks are 2 points out of a playoff position, 1 game in hand on the Calgary Flames. There is kind of starting to build a gap between, if you look at point percentage, between St. Louis and Utah and the Ducks.
Because St. Louis was on a streak there for a bit.
Their win percentage, like they've played 2 more games than the Canucks have, and they're a point behind. That's a huge gap to pick up, build up over
the last games we got left.
The Canucks, including this one tonight, have 21 games remaining.
So, I'm still going to predict they make the playoffs. I'm still going to hold out hope because I have to. That's all I've got. I only got hope.
No, you don't. Let's continue.
I only have hope. I have nothing else. Like, Jake, I'm 60. It's been 50 plus years of this.
Yep.
You have no clue how painful it is to think this was going to be it. We did so well last season, and how did it all go wrong? What happened? Talk to me.
I mean, there's a lot of things. That's a very complicated question, and it goes back to last year in the playoffs. Thatcher Demko gets hurt. Thatcher Demko playing at the level that he plays at, playing at the level he did last year, this year, I think we're in a completely different position. Then you toss in the fact that it's been over 90 games of Elias Pettersson playing at a third line rate. If you go back the last 15, 16 games, I think it is, he has scored 2 goals. Since Miller's been traded, you want to know the most absurd stat here?
I know what stat you're going to throw at me because someone threw it at me today at work.
JT Miller has more goals than Elias Pettersson has shots.
Think about that for a second, folks. Think about that for a second. We're paying a guy $11.6 million. We traded away one of the best players that we've seen in the Canucks in years, and we get stuck with 6 shots.
I don't think you can. I don't think you can compare the two things.
You just did.
They made not that, but they made the right decision in getting rid of JT Miller.
Don't disagree.
Okay, I just want to make that
Yes.
point clear. They made the right decision to get rid of JT Miller. There's a lot of issues, a lot of problems.
It wasn't just JT Miller against Pettersson. It was Miller's toxic attitude towards the team.
And it's also partially what made Canucks fans fall in love with him, because let's face it, the Canucks media and not media, but the Canucks fan base has a toxic relationship with their team because they fell in. Again, look back on it. Like, JT Miller is probably a Ring of Honor level Canucks player.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right. Killed it. Was the lifeblood of the team, the heartbeat of the team when they were playing well.
Yes.
But he was also, just like every single fan, the first one to be like, to show like he wasn't interested in watching when the team wasn't playing well.
No. We had many guests on over the last year and a half. Many guests on. And we all said how awesome it was that we get to cover the Vancouver Canucks at this time because they're winning and it's so much fun to talk about it. And now here we are in March of 2025, and we're right back to 3 years ago, hating on the Canucks. And there's nothing to like about them right now. I shouldn't say that. There's you've got some really good players, 44, some of the newer, O'Connor that came in.
Yeah.
There's some bright spots on this team, but hey, we have 69 people watching. Squirrel. And it's just, I can't even get excited. There's a game tonight, and I'm like, will I stay awake? I'm sick. I'm not feeling good. I did nap a little bit this afternoon, so maybe I can. I wasn't at work. I came home when I napped, just for the record.
You didn't nap at work?
I was just about. That's why I came home.
Brendan Batchelor, the play-by-play guy for the Canucks on Sportsnet 650, the radio station, just tweeted out the warm-up lines for the Canucks today. Joshua, EP40, and Garland. O'Connor, Hedel, Leckermacki. Leckermacki draws in on the second line.
I like
the Brusque, Studer, Besser. Hoglander, Bluger, Sherwood. And on defense, we have EPD, Hronik, Marcus Pettersson and Myers, Forbert and Susie, and Lankinen and net.
Yes. Hughes is out again.
Yes.
If we're winning,
yep.
Does Hughes get hurt as much as he is, or is it like because he's trying too hard? I guess is what I'm trying to say. I was trying to put that in the right way. He's going above and beyond.
I don't think so.
No,
I honestly believe that this injury just based off the timing, is just a tweak or an exertion from a overcompensation. So when you're what muscle did he hurt in his stomach?
I don't know.
He hurt not an abductor, but one of the muscles in your abs. When those go to heal and you're still working out and you're still skating, you very commonly change how you're skating slightly, which then puts different muscles in use and activates differently and sometimes awkwardly. And I believe that's kind of what the injury is, and that's what caused this tweak and this setback for Quinn.
Well, let's hope it's not like his brother, who was just announced is out for the season with Jersey. Did I say that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Devils.
Yeah. So you were talking about Vancouver fans and the absolute craziness that some Vancouver fans love to. Brian Wirch, trade EP, Bowser, Besser, Suter, Forbert, and Susie and Demko. Trade the fans, trade the coaches. Come on, people.
So are you saying
remember like when we first started this podcast and I was yelling at you? That used to be our clip when we did the opening before we had our music opening. Yep. It was, trade everybody.
Other than EP40, which I think would be stupid to trade right now.
Well,
and Demko because you can't trade Demko because he's on LTIR, or is he just on IR? Either way, Demko and EP40, take those off the list. I agree with every single one of those.
Well, yeah, but those are the two biggest on the list. That's what makes it ridiculous. You can't just pick and choose when someone says trade EP, boys. Come on, you can't trade those two on the ends. Can you?
I think you can trade Demko.
You're not going to trade all four of them for one, unless you're getting a massive return.
Or are you punting on this season?
I don't know. Like, why?
Because
what purpose would be punting at this point?
To get a better draft pick, to stock up and trade Besser, Suter.
You're going to drop one or two spots only at this point. You're not going to drop 10 spots.
But trading Besser, Suter, Forbert, and Susie, let's just say those four names, right? You trade all four of those and you don't have to worry about, okay, how are we replacing Besser on our top line? Okay, you know what? We'll put Lekaramaki up there and see how it works. That doesn't work? Okay, cool. That's Suter. Okay, who's going to play third and fourth line center? Okay, call up Arshdeep Bains or Amon or there's another kid and I can't think of his name right now, but one of the kids in the farm.
Again, though, you're not going to drop enough in standings that it's going to improve your pick that dramatically. Like you're not catching Chicago.
No, but if someone
right?
No, but if someone comes along and says, okay, for Besser, we'll offer you a first round pick, a second round pick, and a prospect that we like a 2024 draft pick.
You jump on it, because if not, if we don't trade Besser, he's gone at the end of the season.
So if that's the case and you're still thinking looking to it with an eye towards making the playoffs, you're not going to take that deal because you need someone to replace him, or you're taking those assets and you're flipping them to grab someone to fill that spot.
Or you give Lekaramaki a chance, you give Baines a chance, and maybe you make the playoffs. Maybe you don't.
But I think the and when I say maybe me saying punting this season is a bit extreme, but
no.
But you have to have an eye to the future, because to me there's no core here anymore. You like Besser clearly isn't part of this management team's plans.
No.
Neither is no one else would be considered part of this core. You don't have Miller, you don't have Horvat, you don't have EP40 that's playing at an elite level. And I think you need to really very, very hardly examine these last 21 games, and determine if he's worth sticking it out or throwing to somewhere else and picking up what you can for him.
I'm not going to disagree. Charlie, my friend Charlie from, I think, Edmonton. Isn't he? He's up north somewhere. I think you're in Edmonton. Anyway, Charlie says maybe the Jets would think about Besser.
I think that would be a fantastic
Who
fit.
would you get from the Jets, though? Like, who would the Jets be willing to give up? Picks?
I think like for the Jets, I think that's a rental piece.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's a
right?
long-term piece. But if you're trading a couple picks and if you get a couple picks and a prospect,
Jump on
that's
it.
great.
Yes.
But if ownership gets involved the way we know ownership does in Vancouver,
yeah,
they're going to be pushing to make the playoffs no matter what, because that's what ownership does.
Sure.
They want to win. They want to win a cup at the expense of everything else in this organization.
Well, I mean, everybody wants to leave that legacy, right?
Sorry, that's not fair. They want to make the playoffs and earn playoff revenue more than anything else in this.
Well, yeah,
they don't care about winning the cup. They just want the revenue to come in.
I mean, even one round brings you 2 extra games minimum.
Ooh, two games. Whoop-de-doo.
But when you can sell it out at the prices they're charging, that's big bucks, because the players don't make that money, do they? Do they get extra for making the playoffs? I don't know how that works.
I think a few of them have some contracts based in on games played.
Yeah.
But they don't get paid for playoffs like they do every other game.
Jeff McCleary tunes in. Mr. McCleary, I'm glad you could join us. My fellow diehard Canuck fan who's probably been watching it just as long as I have. Maybe not as long, because I'm a little bit older than him. Not a whole lot. He says Bowser, but he meant Besser, is way too slow now. What do you think? Is he?
Besser's always been slow. This whole notion that Besser's too slow to play in the NHL, I think is a tired and old. I'm tired of it. He doesn't have the foot speed. He's never had the foot speed, but what he makes up with it is his intelligence and his shot.
Yes.
But he's not going to be the guy that drives a line. When he's scoring all his goals, he has a JT Miller or an EP40 when was playing like an elite player, driving play on his line.
I keep going back to your rant from last week, just that generic rip you went on poor EP40. I hope he saw it, because you'll never be allowed in Vancouver again. Surprised we haven't got a cease and desist letter.
No, that's it for certain organizations.
Oh, look, it's the Calgary Tower.
I did want to talk about EP40. I don't know where you're leading with this. I'll let you take the lead.
But no, I keep going back to that, and I bet you could pick more than just one player, more than just EP40, and have that same rip and that same rent where you're being paid X millions and you ain't showing up. Beautiful D made a comment earlier when we were talking about there is some players who we should be highlighting that are playing well. And she put in Myers. My first reaction was, but then I had to actually give it to her. It's going to hurt D. It's hurting my heart. It's hurting my throat to actually say this, but he's been one of the top 5 players on the team this year.
And that's not him coughing because he's almost about to throw up. That is legitimately a cough. But beside the point, he has been. He's played well. He's been able to step up when he needs to step up. He's played his third best or third most played defenseman. I wouldn't say third best defenseman on all nights, but the most played. He is put into every situation, whether it be the power play, 5-on-5, a penalty kill. He's out there and he makes it work.
Yes.
You can't say there's very few games I would be able to say that he's taken a night off this year.
No.
He's had off nights in his play, but he hasn't had a night off. As in, his effort wasn't there. He hasn't tried to do something. Even if it fails, he's trying to do things. And that hurts. That hurts us.
Tyler Myers might be a good fit for the Jets, Charlie says. You can't have our chaos giraffe. He's ours.
Well, first off, I think he's got a no trade clause and no movement clause that he will never waive.
Yeah. No, he loves Vancouver.
Well, you know why he loves Vancouver? Like, I'm sure the city's grown on him, but everything. He has a child with intellectual disabilities.
Yes.
And their team that is working with them all live in Vancouver. And that's why he took a huge discount to stay in Vancouver. But he wanted the guarantee of not being moved.
He will never move. He'll retire as a Canuck. He has said it numerous times. It's not worth, to him, it's not worth any amount of money to sacrifice for his kids or his child, singular.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a chaos giraffe, the glue. Oh, don't go overboard, D. Why do you always have to do that? I give you an inch and you take a mile. You're learning it from him. Don't learn it from him. He's not a good example.
I'm a great example. You had mentioned EB40 and my rant against him that was specifically targeted at not taking ownership and not being forthright and everything. And did you have a chance? We never talked about it. We didn't text about it, but did you see his 5-minute media session yesterday?
No.
He held court. And look, I said, all I need you to do is to come out and be honest with us and let us know what's going on.
And he did.
And he did it. This is just one snippet of something, and I'm going to read it verbatim. After the Utah game, I missed a breakaway and got asked about it and how frustrating the season has been, and I was really mad at that moment, and I said something I didn't mean. That's a direct quote from Elias Pettersson, EP40, and that's when he talked about specifically how the toughest thing is media, or along those lines.
I mean, I'm sure it's true. I'm sure the toughest thing any professional sports athlete has to deal with is media.
He followed that up right after this, saying, I said media is annoying, which it some days can be, but it's the last thing that's making me play bad or not myself this year. I just wanted to make that clear.
But he didn't go on. He didn't go on to say what was making him sad or making us sad and him not playing well.
No, he did say, I'll just be honest, I haven't played the way I want to this year. I haven't played to expectations I have on myself, the franchise has on me. So I'll be the first to tell you, but that's in the past. I just want to take these last 22 games, plus more hopefully, and play my best hockey. I wish we had more wins. I wish we had played a lot better, but can't dwell on that anymore. And just trying to look ahead. Apparently I haven't watched the full media session, but he was joking with the reporters. He seemed like something clicked. And Rick Dollywall today basically said it looked like he went on a walk. And Rick Dollywall's big on walks to get his thoughts straight. Go on a walk. He went on a walk and things just clicked. And he said, I need to address this. I need to take ownership. And this is step one.
That's a very political reference, going for a walk, right?
Yep.
Goes back to, I think it was Brian Mulroney, or it could have even been Pierre Trudeau.
It was Brian Mulroney.
Yeah, he decided to go for a walk and then resigned.
Which allowed for the first female prime minister in Canada.
Yeah. It's almost showtime.
It is. And
did we tell people this is going to be an abbreviated session? I don't think
I did. I did at the very beginning.
Oh, did you? Okay. I wasn't listening again.
But this was step one, taking ownership, saying this is on me. This isn't the media's fault. I've been short. Basically, I've been short with the media, and it's not because of anything that you guys are doing. It's 100% a me thing. Step two is proving it on the ice.
Yes.
I want to go out there, and I don't give a shit if he scores. I don't care if he takes the puck and twirls it through people and makes a play and makes people miss him. I want him to shoot the puck 30 goddamn times, whether it hits someone in front of him, whether it hits a post, whether it
Doesn't
goes
matter.
all 30 go wide. Shoot the puck.
And I don't know how many times I could go back and during every game. I can't count the number of times you and I have texted back and forth. Shoot the puck.
And don't get me wrong, there are times where us fans, we get antsy, especially on the power play. We're like, okay, shoot the puck, just shoot. But with Pettersson, it's like, I don't care at this point.
Just shoot.
I really don't care what you do. I don't care if every single shot goes Happy Gilmore style and like breaks the glass or goes 30 feet straight up in the air. Just shoot the puck.
Just shoot the freaking puck.
Because you know what's going to happen when you shoot the puck? It's going to go towards the net. And even if you don't get that goal, it might tip in, it might plop around. You've got Connor Garland who might just be standing in front of the net.
Do you know who knows all about this?
Who knows all about this?
The Toucan.
I don't think that's true.
He was whispering in my ear after I took cold meds today, and he was telling me that if we shoot the puck more, we're going to score more goals. That came from the Toucan. So
again, folks, just remember, the old man's been sick. He's taking some really strong drugs. He started to hallucinate. And it's at this point in the show where I'd like to point out, we don't recommend taking that many drugs. If you start seeing things like a toucan that's an inanimate object start talking to you, go to bed. That's all I have to say.
Are the Canucks gonna beat the Ducks tonight? Yes.
No.
They haven't lost 3 games in a row all season. So, in regulation. Sorry, I should have prefaced that.
Sorry, say that one more time.
They have not lost 3 games in a row in regulation all season.
That seems like a stat that should be easy to disprove.
I saw the tweet from the Canucks, so it has to be right.
That seems so wild to me with how terrible of a season that we've had.
But they've lost so many in overtime, right?
But I literally pulled up the record, and it's 27 wins, 22 losses, 11 overtime losses.
Yeah, right.
Like, yeah, that's a lot of overtime. But
you take those 11 overtime losses, and let's just say you have 5, not even half, just 5. Let's say 4. You have 8 extra points. Where does that put us?
8 extra points. Only 4 extra points.
Oh, 4 extra points because you got a point. Yeah. So
that puts you in
at points.
69 points. Nice. Which puts you...
I like 69.
2 points ahead of the Calgary Flames with a game in hand.
Now, that's only winning 4. Let's say you win 5 of those 11.
Half. 5. Half and round down.
Now, let's say you win 6. Let's say there's only 5 losses.
5 overtime losses.
Huh?
5 overtime losses.
Yeah. Now you're talking 6 extra points.
That puts you within reaching, like, 6 extra points. Put you ahead. That puts you third in the Pacific.
Right? And you look at some of those overtime losses, they were directly caused by lazy ass fucking plays. Let's face it. Lazy ass
or
fucking plays by certain player who's not with us anymore.
Or selfish plays by that certain player.
Yes. Oh, 100%. I can think 2, if not 3 games. I can think of 2 for sure. One, him skating off nonchalantly to the bench like nothing, like the whistle had blown and he was just doing his little twiddly-do fucking thing. The other one, he just stopped skating and he wasn't chasing the guy. And I'm screaming at the TV.
So, in his defense, not that I'm usually going to defend people. That's not true. I defend players a lot. If he had scored on those plays prior to those slow changes, we'd be having a completely different discussion about it.
He wouldn't be traded.
I think he still would be.
Yeah, probably would. If what we know is true, he still would have been traded.
Correct.
A lot of people aren't aware of that yet, eh?
Yes, that's why, and it hasn't been confirmed by enough reliable sources. I have talked about it with
Jack.
I've talked about it with one person who is claiming it's a fact, and I've heard a bunch of other people saying I've heard it, but I'm not ever gonna get confirmation on it. So until someone else comes out with it that I can trust and take to the bank that's a
We're not
solid
saying
source,
it. We're not going to
I'm
get
not
kicked
gonna
off
say
the
it.
air.
But
It's game
man,
time.
it's game time. Before we let you all go, old man, what do you think? What is your expectation for the Canucks this trade deadline?
Expectation, or what do I think they're going to do?
Expectation. What is
I would love them to make a big ass move. They need to make a big ass move. Will they? I don't think they will.
So
They'll make a bunch of small moves. I just noticed you spelled your name wrong on.
Oh yeah, I realized that like 29 minutes ago. I can't believe it took you that long to notice. What is the moment where you throw up your hand and say, I'm done for the season if they make X move?
Dude, you know me by now. They've been 10 points out of playoff position with 10 games to go, and I'm still come on.
But is there a move that they can make where you have to reevaluate what your thought process is for this season?
I don't know what you mean by that.
To me, if they sell Brock Besser and Elias Pettersson, if they sell Elias Pettersson at an all-time low, to me, that's saying you've given up on this season.
Yes.
And you're in a rebuild mode with the best defensive player or the best defenseman in the NHL.
Yes. Without a doubt.
But is there a smaller move to you that would scream we're starting a rebuild? Maybe that's the question I should pose.
Besser for draft picks and not flipping those draft picks.
See, I think that's a real big possibility.
Yeah, I do. And I think that's the kind of moves we're going to see. Or we're going to see Susie gone. Please.
Well, I mean, you've got enough depth with EPD and Victor Mancini. You don't need a Susie around.
I don't understand why these kids haven't had, why are we still playing Susie? He's just not been in there this year.
He's been a lot better recently than he was, especially earlier this year.
Yeah.
But yes. I've got nothing else. Anything else before we get to the game?
Go Canucks.
All right. Go Canucks. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. If you like the show, hit that like button. If you're not following us, hit that subscribe button and the little bell so you get a notification every single time we go live. If you're following us on Twitter, hit that like button, or listening to us on Twitter right now, hit that like button, hit the retweet, share us out to everyone. The best thing you can do to help us out is share this with a friend, family member, colleague, person you hate.
And you guys have done a great job. For a half-hour show, we managed to get up to 186 viewers.
Yep.
It blows my mind, guys. It's freaking amazing. Let's keep growing this. This is fun.
And until next week, have yourselves a